Hi, welcome to the exercise of the month. This month we're reviewing the burpee. I know what you're thinking, it's your favourite exercise. Burpee is a great exercise for someone who doesn't necessarily have a lot of time to do a workout but wants a nice intense workout because it's got a large amount of workload, a large amount of work in every rep. Essentially a burpee is getting down on the floor and getting up in the air again as fast as you can, and that's pretty much it. We'll basically break it down for you, of course, today and show you how you can build up in steps to progress to a full burpee, especially for those people who don't quite have the upper body strength to lift themselves straight off the ground, especially with all their body weight going, the momentum going towards the ground. So let's have a look at the first progression of a burpee. What we're going to see is we're going to start in a crouch position, stepping out with each foot individually. So all we're going to be doing is going down, out, out, in, and then jumping straight up into the air. And if you can continue with that, pretty simple. It's just a nice rhythmic motion, almost like a cadence that Carrie's going to follow. That's fantastic, and holding it there. Once you've mastered that, we're going to go to the next step, which is pretty much crouching down and jumping in to a push-up position and jumping back up. Great, so simple: down, out, in, up. Down, out, in, up. Great. And yep, just holding that there. So then what we're going to do is just notice one of the main faults of this technique is what a lot of people do when they crouch down is they get this big arch in the back, as you can see just there. And that's really bad position for the lower back. There's the arch. So when doing that technique, you do want to be aware of that. What we want to make sure is that when you go down, jump out, hold the position strong, and then jump in and jump up. And that's probably a medium version of a burpee. Just something to note is that you don't necessarily want the hands to be far away from the feet. You see that gap between the hands and the feet? That's more likely to arch the back. Have the hands nice and close. Just do one like that, Carrie. The hands are close to the feet come back close to the hands. Perfect. The next progression is where we're actually going to lower the body down to the ground. So for those that don't have the upper body strength, simply instead of doing the push-up at the bottom of a burpee, we're literally just going to lower the belly down to the ground and literally let it rest there. Let it rest, then jump in and up. Simple. Try a few of those. Good. And again, you can see down, out, belly to the ground, and up. Having a rest. Great. And you can see that you don't need huge amounts of upper body strength to accelerate with your momentum going on the ground, because the belly can actually rest on the ground momentarily. The good point about it is that you won't get that low back arch because, again, your hips and belly are supported by the ground. Let's look at the next progression from here.
Now here you see in slow motion our full burpee going down into the tuck, out into the push-up, into the tuck, jumping straight up into the air. Still our fluent motion: down, out, in, jump. Again, down, out, in, jump. And you can see that the belly's still going to the ground in this case. Belly's touching the ground. The hardest version of a burpee is where we're going all the way down to the bottom of the push-up position here, as you can see, without the chest actually touching the ground. It's still going all the way down, but it doesn't actually touch, which means it takes huge amounts of upper body strength to accelerate up against the momentum of the body going towards the ground. Here we see a variation. This is called lateral burpees. In this variation, we don't do the push-up at the bottom of the motion. Simply, we throw the legs out to one side, back into the tuck position in the middle, and then straight up to the sky. Finally, we have a variation called burpee frog jumps, and here we're going to see a full burpee into the tuck and a full frog jump going forward as far as you possibly can. More momentum, a little bit tougher. Good luck with it, folks. All the best with your burpees.